In the corner, a small boy tries, for the 10th time, to balance one stone on top of another. He fails. His mother is 2 meters away. She doesn't run to help, doesn't offer a distraction, and doesn't say a single word. She simply observes. What you are seeing is not coldness. It is millennia-old mental engineering. While the brains of children in the rest of the world are being fragmented by artificial stimuli, this boy is being protected to develop the rarest resource of the 21st century: unshakable focus. Japan does not lead IQ rankings by chance, but through 4 silent habits that begin in the cradle. I'm going to show you each of them now, but pay very close attention to the 4th habit. It is the most controversial, the hardest to practice, and honestly, it is the real secret behind Japanese resilience. If you understand what happens in that final step, you will understand why the rest of the world is losing the war for attention. The first secret lies in what you don't see. Walk into a typical baby's room in the West, and you will see an explosion of primary colors, electronic toys that flash, and walls covered in stickers. Science calls this a dopamine hijack. The child's brain is bombarded with so many stimuli that it loses the ability to process silence. In Japan, minimalism is not just an aesthetic. It is biological protection. The environment is neutral, textures are natural, and the number of toys is limited. This creates what researchers call a stimulus vacuum. Without constant visual noise, the child's brain doesn't have to fight to filter useless information. They learn to find interest in detail, in the texture of wood, in the movement of a leaf. By protecting the baby's reward system from this excess of artificial dopamine, Japanese parents are actually calibrating the brain so that it can focus on deep, slow tasks later in life. There's a mistake that almost all parents make out of love: interruption. When we see our child playing, our instinct is to join in, narrate what they are doing, or offer a new toy. In Japan, the observer's pause is practiced. If a child is in a trance watching an ant or trying to fit a piece, the mother does not interfere. She becomes a silent presence. Neuroscience explains that these moments of spontaneous flow are the building blocks of adult concentration. Every time we interrupt a focused child to say, "Look how cool this is," we reset their attention clock. By giving space for the baby to complete their own thought cycle, Japan teaches the brain that focus is a valuable state that should be respected, not an activity that can be broken at any moment by an external stimulus. Have you ever heard of the word ma? In Japan, it represents the space between things, the emptiness that gives meaning to form. In parenting, this translates into the rhythm of activities. In the West, we live in a frantic sequence. Finish breakfast, rush to the bath, get in the car, turn on the radio. The child's brain stays in a constant state of alert. The Japanese habit introduces ma between tasks. There is a transition time, a moment of silence before starting something new. Research on the resting brain suggests that these intervals of low stimulation allow neural networks to consolidate what has been learned. When a Japanese child finishes eating, they are not immediately thrown into the next activity. There is a moment of gratitude, a slower rhythm. This blank space prevents mental fatigue and teaches the nervous system that silence is not boredom, but the fuel needed for the next wave of intense focus. We've reached the habit that I personally consider the hardest of all: the concept of Ganbari. In the West, our immediate reaction when we see a baby struggling with a challenge is to solve the problem for them. If they can't reach the toy, we hand it to them. If they can't close their coat, we close it. In Japan, the philosophy is the opposite. They believe that frustration is the gym of focus. If the task is safe, the mother watches the child struggle. She may encourage with words, but she rarely uses her hands. The program Hajime no Tsukai, which we showed earlier, is living proof of this. By allowing the child to face difficulty all the way through, their brain learns to ignore discomfort in pursuit of a goal. This creates a unique cognitive resilience. While many children give up on a difficult math problem at 10 years old because they never learned to deal with not being able to, the Japanese child has been practicing persistence since 18 months old. It is the dignity of self-effort. Watching a child struggle and not intervening requires immense emotional control from parents. But it is precisely this struggle that builds a brain capable of focusing when the rest of the world decides to quit. In the end, the focus of Japanese children is not about superior intelligence, but about respect for biological rhythm. They are not training robots. They are protecting humans from the fragmentation of modern attention. Maybe we cannot change the noisy world we live in, but we can change what we allow into the sacred space of our children's development. Which of these 4 habits feels the most challenging to you today? Minimalism? Silence? Or letting them struggle? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinion. See you in the next video.